Today is 12th February 2019. My name is Gaudence. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Art program with the College for America at Southern New Hampshire University. And I'm conducting this interview as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a government and you working on for a contribute to society as an award. The interview will be used to create a script video and submitted to a College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system to which only the evaluator and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yes, of course.
So, can you read the following?
I, Christine Uwijimana, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as a part of student academic work.
So, thank you, Christine.
You're
So,
welcome.
I have a few questions to ask you. First one is, what are the three branches of the U.S. government?
The second one is about executive, and the third one is judiciary.
So, thank you. Can you tell me what each branch do?
The legislative branch is there to make laws. So the executive one is there to implement or to carry out the law. Then the judiciary is there to remove those
Can you name the third party?
You know that you have two parties, Republicans and Democrats. So the other third parties, I think that any other parties that can be formed. So I think that can be the third party.
Okay. So, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I know that every law begins as so the bill becomes a law when it's approved by U.S. government, U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. President, and U.S. Senate.
So, thank you, Christine, for your information.
Welcome. Hello.
Today is 12th February 2019.
Yes.
My name is Gaudence. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Art program with the College for America at Southern University. And I'm conducting this as a part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and finish the explanation in a script video. I'm working on for the interview will be used to create a script video and submit it to the College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system to which only the evaluator Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yeah, I do.
So, can you read the following?
I, Delphine Michomniza, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student academic work.
So, thank you, Delphine.
Yeah.
I have a few questions to ask you. So, what are the three branches of the U.S. government?
So I think the three branches are the legislative and the executive, and the last branch is the judiciary.
So, thank you, and I think that you understand them.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell me what each that do?
The legislative is in charge of making laws. The executive is in charge of implementing those laws, and the judiciary is in charge of evaluating those laws and interpreting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Democrats and Republican are the major parties. So can you tell me a third party?
I think the third party is. I think it's all other parties excluding the Democrats and the Republicans. So all other parties who like individual parties or yeah, besides the Democrats and the Republicans.
Right. So the last question is that what is the basic process by which a bill becomes law?
A bill becomes a law after the president has signed. I think he's given 10 days to have signed that bill in order to to make it a law. So when in the legislative process they retain back that before the president signs, it remains a bill, but it becomes a law when the president put his signature on it.
Thank you for your information.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello.
Today is 12th February 2019.
Yes.
My name is Gaudence. I'm a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with the College for America at Central University. And I'm conducting at the Bachelor of Academic. With your consent, I will record this interview and finish the explanation in a script video. I'm working on society. The interview will be used to create a street video and submit it to the College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system to which only the evaluator and the Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yeah, I do.
So, can you read the following?
I, Delphine Michonyiza, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student academic work.
So, thank you, Delphine.
Yeah.
I have a few questions to ask you. So, what are the three branches of the U.S. government?
So I think the three branches are the legislative and the executive, and the last branch is the judiciary.
So, thank you, and I think that you understand them.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell me what each that do?
The legislative is in charge of making laws. The executive is in charge of implementing those laws, and the judiciary is in charge of evaluating those laws and interpreting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Democrats and Republican are the major parties. So, can you tell me a third party?
I think the third party is. I think it's all other parties excluding the Democrats and the Republicans. So all other parties who like individual parties or yeah, besides the Democrats and the Republicans.
Right. So the last question is that what is the basic process by which a bill becomes law?
A bill becomes a law after the president has signed. I think he's given 10 days to have signed that bill in order to make it a law. So when in the legislative process they retain back that before the president signs, it remains a bill, but it becomes a law when the president put his signature on it.
Thank you for your information.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Gaudence, and I'm a student of Bachelor of Arts in Southern New Hampshire University and the Kepler program. So I'm working on the project called Government and which is found in the goal which is called Contribute to Society. So this this project was supposed to conduct a split interview where we have to ask different questions to the US citizens. So I tried to consult two citizens and I asked them the different questions regarding to the USA government. So in this video I'm going to say to say what they have said as well as giving clarification about those their answers. So the first question was asking about the branches of government, and the interviews say the branches of government there are three, and there is legislative, executive, and judicial. So after telling me that those are the branches of government, I also asked them about the responsibilities of each branch, where they tried to give me more information. They said the legislative branch is there to introduce the laws, where while the executive branch is there to uh, to to evaluate and enforces those laws, and the judicial law is there to apply the laws to individual cases, which is true as from the findings that I have. that I, I found about those branches. So the other thing is that how the other question is how each and every branch is connected to each other. So they are connected to each other in a way that through checks and balances, those laws are connected to each other. So the checks and balance its ability of each branch to control the action of other branches. Like for instance, if the legislative is there to introduce and vote the bill, then the bill goes to the executive branch, where the president sign it or reject it, the bill if it is he found that the bill is not appropriate to the country or have no importance to the country. And once the president found that the bill is important to the government, he signed that bill to become a law. So after that, the law, like if the law is put in a place, the people of country test the law and of in the country system, which is under the judicial branch. So the other question was about the the political parties that found in U.S. government. They are the Republican and Democratic. So I asked the interviewers about the other party, and they have said that the third party is other parties that can be formed apart from Democratic and Republican, which is true. So I also the other question that I asked is about how how the Republican and Democratic starts. So those the those system are started when the Jefferson was the first Secretary of State and is the one who like started those systems. He was not the Jefferson and his friend and associates felt they're dissatisfied about the government policies, and they decide to to be apart from the to be the member of the government. So they started those systems about they started those systems. So the Republican Democratic Party, where the Democratic Party was in charge of advocating social and economic inequalities, along with the welfare countries. Also, it was taken to provide government interventions and regulation in the economy. While the Republican favor low taxes and address government spending on social programs. The other question was about the impacts of third parties on national policies. So I have found that the impact of other parties is that even though those parties are less known, but they try to influence the elections by growing away the votes of either the votes of the two parties, the major parties, which are Democratic and Republican. So the other question is how a bill become a law. So for bill to become a law, it's a process. So the law first is introduced, and then after being introduced, it passed to the USA government or House of Representatives, and then after passing to the House of Representatives, it passed to the Senate, and then after being approved by U.S. Senate and goes to the president, where the president is the one who approved and signed the law. So in this process, there are different departments that involve, which are like a sponsor department and the committee department, a debate and vote. So about sponsors, the sponsors are there to try to get the support for which for how the bill can be voted. So after trying to find the way how or support of how bill can be voted, the bill goes to committee, and the committee is there to revise and research more about the bill that was introduced. After finding the different informations about the bill, then debate take place, where the people will give their opinions or points of view about the bill that was introduced. So the debate is there to have the different views about the bill that was introduced. Also, after debating, they make the recommendations and changes so that the bill can be ready to be voted. So the vote is there to the voting activities, if I can say, is there to help people to, like the U.S. House of Representatives and other people who attended the who are attending those events are there to vote the bill, like people who agree with the bill or the people who don't agree with the bill. So then they count the majority, and so I think that's all the information that I have about the after finding the majority of people vote the bill, they send it back to the Senate, where also the Senate member pass the process as the process of House Representative, where they send to the committee, and then they debate about it and then also vote. So after finding that in the Senate members, after finding that the majority vote the bill, they send to the government, to the president, who is the one in charge of signing the bill to be a law, or he or she can reject it depending on how she or he is finding the bill to be the important to the government. So after president sign the bill to be a law, it will become a law after 10 days. So thank you for understanding that. So